another massive Haason Reddick trade update, as another Jets trade could be incoming, as Haason Reddick, he talked to Joe Douglas, or his agents talked to Joe Douglas, and the Jets have allowed Haason Reddick over the next 12 hours to pursue a trade with another team, after the New York Jets obviously went out there and acquired Davante Adams today in an awesome move, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do. But real quick, make sure to subscribe, guys. 7.5% of the channel subscribed. Those numbers are going up. Let's keep them going up, man. It makes me sad when I see that 92.5% of people are watching, and they haven't done something that literally takes half a second out of your life, and it does really help Matt and I out. But look, here's the deal, Matt. Haason Reddick, we know the drama. We've talked about the drama a lot, and now it seems like it's hit another huge turning point, as Diana Rossini reported on this. The Jets have given Haason Reddick and his representatives a short window to seek a trade. His new representation, Drew Rosenhaus, has been reaching out to teams over the last 12 hours to gauge interest on the trade market to see if any team does want to bring in Haason Reddick, despite all the drama, despite wanting the extension, despite now knowing that he declined an extension already from the New York Jets in the past. Matt, this is a pretty wild situation going down. I can't even tell you where my head is at this point, Matt, on if he's going to get traded or not, or if he'll ever put on a Jets uniform.
Yeah, so a lot of over the offseason, the Jets were clear that they were not going to be trading Haason Reddick, which now, of course, they've changed that stance. There was another stance that they changed that we talked about yesterday where they said they needed to talk to Haason Reddick in the building. Haason Reddick was supposed to show up to the Jets before they were going to talk contract with him. And we were talking about how it was strange that they changed their stance on that. Excuse me, but they've been changing their stance here again on whether or not to trade Haason Reddick or not, Chris. And it seems clear to me why this is happening. It's because Jets owner Woody Johnson is feeling pressure to make something out of this season. We saw his comment on Haason Reddick a couple days ago, talking about getting his car, come down on 95, come join the Jets. He wants Haason Reddick to play for the Jets. Haason Reddick so far can't get the contract done. He's got new agents. We're going to see how that works out. But a short window, this report has kind of strange wording because a short window to seek a trade. We don't have any reports at this moment as to how long this window is. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just say he can seek a trade. I don't know why they would insinuate that this trade window is closing, but clearly Woody Johnson is putting pressure on the Jets to get this move done now. And what's interesting about this move is coming from ex-CBS Sports NFL insider Josina Anderson. She is saying, this has also been picked up by CBS Sports themselves, that there's actually a third stipulation in the original Jets-Eagles Haason Reddick trade, which was that not only does Haason Reddick have to play 67.5% of the snaps for the Jets and get 10 plus sacks for our third that we sent them to turn into a second, apparently it's coming out now that there is a third stipulation that if the Jets trade Haason Reddick to a NFC team, then that draft pick automatically changes from the 2026 third round pick to a 2026 second round pick. So this puts more pressure on Joe Douglas to find a trade partner in the AFC, because I don't know about you, Chris, but I am in no mood to give up a second to move that second round pick, that third round pick to a second round pick, because I don't want to see the Eagles win. I want the Jets to hang on to the best draft picks that they possibly can. So Haason Reddick, agents, they've been reaching out this morning and last night, and recently we've seen Woody Johnson is running out of patience. He wants moves to happen quickly, so I would expect in the next couple days we're going to get a lot more Haason Reddick news, and we're going to have a much clearer picture on whether or not he's going to be traded.
Yeah, I think something about this and the Jets being more open to Reddick seeking a trade is because of the fact that they acquired the entirety of Davante Adams' salary. They now know that they have Haason Reddick burning a hole in their pocket and just not taking money from them, but taking money from their salary cap, which is problematic. Like, regardless, it's problematic. The Jets, you don't want to be in that situation where you're worried about the salary cap. No team wants to in any sport. And now acquiring Adams, where there were so many reports that it'd be almost certain the Raiders would have to take back some salary of Adams in the trade. That did not happen. The Jets also gave up a conditional third-round pick for Davante Adams. They have 2 conditional third-round picks going out. Let's not trade Let's not trade Haason Reddick to an NFC team and make that into a second-round pick for what's probably going to be a virtual, I don't want to say a virtual nothing return, actually, but what's going to be a return that's nothing near what the Jets gave up for Reddick, especially after you just dug into your draft pick stock to trade for Adams. Now, I think it was a phenomenal trade for Adams. Such a great risk reward by the Jets. But at the same time, like, you now have 2 conditional third-round picks that could become second-rounders depending on your success and the specific player's success in both the cases of Adams and Haason Reddick. So it becomes this interesting thing where, do you think that's like a huge part of it, where essentially the Jets are going out there and they're more willing to trade Reddick because their financial situation has changed bringing in Adams?
1,000%. Davante Adams comes with an $11 million plus cap hit. The Jets only had $17 million to spare before him. They have just over $5 million in cap space left. They are planning on reworking Davante Adams' deal to get more cap space. But if you're doing the math there, Haason Reddick right now counts for $750,000 against the cap space. If he shows up, that number's going to jump up to $14.5 million. And the Jets, $5 million, what they have left. That is less than $14.5 million. So the Jets have to figure something out here in terms of cap space. And Mike Williams was floated as a potential trade option for the Jets to free up some cap space. And I at least, didn't want to trade Mike Williams because I thought he was going to be a player who could help the team. But I think a lot of Jets fans, after seeing 2 weeks of games where they end with targets towards Mike Williams going towards game-losing interceptions, I'm sure the narrative is starting to change slowly on Mike Williams. I thought he was supposed to ramp up off of his ACL surgery and come back stronger week after week after week. But the last couple of weeks, he seems to have been started getting worse. So 0 yards this week. If we can trade him, that's $5 million off of our cap hit. So that's more money. Davante Adams rework could be more money. Haason Reddick, if he is willing to play for the New York Jets, there will be space for him.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas, they can rework contracts. They can trade Mike Williams. There will be room for him. Woody Johnson will make it happen because right now, Woody Johnson, his name's in the media a lot for understandable reasons. Not good words are being said about him in the media because we can say it here. He's not doing a good job managing this team. Ever since he picked up the New York Jets, they're like the 7th worst team win-loss record in the league. But this year, he's going to go all in, which I think is a great idea. Sending was going to be a 3rd-round pick. Davante Adams most likely is not going to be a 1st or 2nd team All-Pro, seeing how he already missed 3 games this season. He is 50-50 on this next Sunday night game against the Steelers. That would be his 4th game missed on the season, would make it very difficult to be a 1st or 2nd team All-Pro with that. He also, the other stipulation, the Jets make the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, again, chances very, very low. So a 3rd-round pick for a guy like Davante Adams, the last 5 3rd-round picks for the Jets, going back to, not the last 5 picks, but going back to the last 5 years, so 2019. 2019, the Jets picked in the 3rd round, Ashton Davis. He got his ankle snapped last night for a touchdown, if you saw that one, if you're watching the game. They also, in the 3rd round, they got Chuma Edoga. They got Malachi Corley, who hasn't even showed up yet. And they got Nathan Shepard. He was okay. I mean, I like the player, but he didn't turn into anything. So these 3rd-round picks, it's a great reward. It's a great risk reward, just like you said. Davante Adams, the perfect guy to come in. The chemistry with Rodgers. There's so many obvious reasons why this guy is the right guy for the Jets. Going back to the cap space, the financials, they're going to make it work. Joe Douglas, we have full faith in him as a good GM in the NFL. We are sure he's going to be able to make this thing work. Whether it's a Mike Williams trade or a restructure, there are plenty of options on the table, and they're going to figure something out. And if Haason Reddick wants to play for the Jets, as his agents came out and said Haason Reddick wants to play for the Jets this season and in the future, which I know That's a
Just
lie.
saying the right thing.
It's a lie. It's a lie. We've seen from Haason Reddick that we have no reason to trust what he says because he says the right things and then he does the complete exact opposite of the right thing. So going forwards, the Jets, the cap on the field, they might not get it figured out. Cap in the cap space department, they're gonna get that figured out.
Makes sense. And honestly, it's impossible to decipher what Haason Reddick's gonna do next. It's literally like he just is picking random ideas out of a hat or something for his next move. And it's the most random saga I've ever seen with a player who's holding out like this. It's strange. And we'll leave you with this, Matt, right now. Give me what are the odds Haason Reddick, or a percentage or odds, whatever you want to do, that Haason Reddick will suit up for the New York Jets and play for the Jets this season?
So Woody Johnson wants him to play. He doesn't seem to want to play. I don't think any teams are going to want to trade him. There are other ways to make the cap work. I have to imagine it's close to 50-50 on whether he plays for the Jets or not, because there's a lot of reasons why he wouldn't play for the Jets, but then there's also a ton of reasons why it doesn't make sense to get rid of him for the return that we would potentially get. So just like you said, he's got his hat. He wrote some stuff down on a piece of paper. He cut up the piece of paper. He put it in the hat. He's picking ideas out. So really even Vegas couldn't tell you what he's going to do next, Chris.
That's fair. And guys, we will tell you what he does next right after he does it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.